There comes a moment in every life silent, invisible, but seismic where your entire future is decided. Not by fate, not by luck, but by the quiet whispers of your dominant thoughts. You become what you obsess over. That is not a suggestion. It is not a motivational poster. It is law, as real as gravity, as unyielding as time. If your mind is consumed by fear, you become a slave to it. If your heart burns with vision, you become a magnet for miracles. Whatever you feed your thoughts, whatever image you burn into your subconscious, that is the blueprint your life will be built upon, whether you realize it or not. Look around. Everything you see, every building, every plane, every invention was once an obsession in someone's mind. Edison didn't dabble in electricity. He was consumed by it. Carnegie didn't casually explore steel. He was possessed by it. Disney didn't just daydream about fantasy, he lived in it. He saw it when no one else could. They didn't chase success with logic. They chased it with obsession, with vision so clear it made the world uncomfortable. But today, most people fear obsession. They call it unhealthy. They say, be balanced, don't go too far. And that's why they never become anything more than average. Because average lives are built on average thoughts, safe dreams, mild interests, lukewarm desires. Let me tell you something no one else will. Balance doesn't build empires. Moderation doesn't write history. You must burn for something. You must hunger with a heat that makes your bones ache. Because obsession is not madness. It is focus amplified to its purest form. Every breakthrough in history was born from someone who couldn't stop thinking about a single idea. Tesla lived in his visions. Mandela obsessed over justice. Jobs was maniacal about design. Oprah rewired her entire identity through belief. And you, yes, you have that same fire waiting inside, but you've smothered it with doubt, with distractions, with endless comparison and fear of what others might say. But here's the truth. You will never rise while fitting in. You will never lead while blending in. And you will never become great by playing small with your thoughts. Your mind is a garden. Whatever you plant grows. Obsess over failure, and you will fail. Obsess over purpose, and it will pull you through fire. It starts here, with awareness, with the simple but brutal recognition that your life today is the sum of yesterday's obsessions. Look closely. What do you think about when no one's watching? What ideas do you entertain when you're alone? That's not just idle thinking. That is you shaping your destiny in silence. If your mind is filled with worry, fear, and noise, you are not living, you are reacting. But if your mind is tuned like a laser toward your vision, your future begins bending itself around your thoughts. You are not a product of circumstance, you are a product of mental patterns. And those patterns can be rewritten. Clarity is the chisel, belief is the hammer, discipline is the hand that carves. Most people drift through life wondering why nothing sticks, why nothing lasts. It's because they try to want everything and end up committing to nothing. They admire, but they don't model. They wish, but they don't work. They dabble, but they never decide. And decision is everything. Napoleon Hill said, indecision is the seedling of fear. Every time you hesitate, every time you question your worth, you empower doubt. You let the weeds in, but obsession, true obsession, doesn't hesitate. It takes root. It grows wild. It becomes a force nothing can stop. So I ask you, what is the one vision you cannot stop thinking about? What is the dream that visits you in silence, that keeps showing up in the background of your life? That is not coincidence. That is calling. That is destiny knocking. But it will not stay forever. You either answer it with discipline or you ignore it with excuses. There is no middle ground. Most people want success, but they want it like a hobby. They want it like a weekend activity. They treat greatness like an optional side quest. But the ones who become it, they treat it like oxygen. They don't want success, they require it. That's the difference. It's not about being interested. It's about being obsessed to the point where doubt can't survive the fire of your clarity. This is where mindset becomes your sword. Because if your mind is not your ally, it becomes your enemy. And the greatest war you'll ever fight isn't with the world. It's with the quiet resistance inside of you that says, you're not ready. You're not worthy. Who are you to dream this big? That voice is a liar. That voice is the remnant of a past you're supposed to outgrow. It's built from your parents' fears, your teacher's limitations, society's programming. And if you don't rip it out by the root, it will whisper failure into your life until the day you die. Understand this. No one is born with belief. Belief is built, brick by brick, thought by thought, action by action. And it starts with a decision one so final, so absolute, that it slams the door on every other path. That's why clarity is more powerful than intelligence, because the world doesn't reward the smartest person in the room, it rewards the most certain. When you know where you're going, when you see it so clearly you could paint it in your sleep, that's when everything starts to change. That's when energy shifts, people show up, resources appear. The universe begins to echo your conviction. But clarity doesn't fall from the sky. You craft it. You sit alone in silence, stripping away the noise. You stop chasing 10 goals and commit to one. You ask yourself, if I could be world class at just one thing, what would it be? And then you chase that answer like your soul depends on it, because it does. Every day you sharpen the picture. You visualize it, you breathe it in, you tattoo it on your thoughts, until the future is no longer just a hope it, becomes an expectation. See, most people never get what they want, because they never truly define what it is. They live in a fog, wandering from goal to goal, trying on dreams like clothes in a store. But those who win the giants of history, they only wore one dream, and they wore it every single day until it became their skin. Lincoln didn't juggle dreams. He obsessed over unity. Henry Ford didn't wonder what business to start. He was possessed by one thought: every American should own a car. That was the vision. That was the obsession. And the world eventually bent to match it. But that kind of clarity only comes when you stop consuming and start creating. When you stop scrolling and start sculpting your life from the inside out. When your internal vision becomes louder than the world's opinions. Because the truth is, you don't need more motivation. You don't need more advice. You need a mental revolution, a total identity shift. You must stop thinking like the person you've been and start thinking like the person you are becoming. That means your habits change. Your circle changes. Your language changes. You stop saying, I hope. You start saying, I will. You stop asking for permission. You start moving with intention. Because when your obsession becomes stronger than your excuses, transformation is no longer optional, it becomes inevitable. And here's where most people get it wrong. They think obsession means constant activity. It doesn't. Obsession means alignment. It means your thoughts, your words, your actions, your identity, they all point in the same direction. You don't need to hustle 24/7, but you do need to live in alignment every single day. Because when your actions match your vision, that's when momentum builds. That's when time starts to bend. That's when results accelerate. You're not chasing anymore. You're becoming. And becoming is louder than talking. Becoming is the quiet conviction that no matter how long it takes, no matter who doubts you, no matter how many failures come, this vision will become reality. Because you've decided. And once a human being truly decides, there is no force on earth that can stop them. Discipline is the bridge between obsession and reality. It is the fire that tempers your dreams into steel. You can have all the clarity in the world, all the belief in the world, all the vision, but if you don't move your feet, you'll die with potential in your bones. And what a tragedy that would be. To have seen the mountain, but never climbed it. To have felt the fire, but never fed it. To have known what was possible, but never become it. Understand this, discipline is not punishment. It is freedom. Discipline is the act of choosing what you want most over what you want now. It's the silent force behind every champion, every master, every icon. Waking up early isn't about the alarm clock. It's about telling the world, I'm in control now. Saying no to distractions isn't about sacrifice. It's about saying yes to your higher self. When Hill wrote about desire, he didn't mean wishful thinking. He meant a burning obsession that would drive you through pain, through boredom, through failure, through humiliation until you arrive. And you will be tested. Make no mistake. Life will demand a price. You will be knocked down. You will be ignored. You will be laughed at. You will question if the dream is even real. But discipline says, I move anyway. Discipline says, this isn't about mood. This is about mission. Discipline says, I don't need motivation. I have standards. That's what separates the 1 in a million from the 999,999. People will look at you and think you're obsessed. They'll say you've changed. They'll call you intense, extreme, different. Good. You're supposed to change. You're supposed to evolve. You're supposed to lose people who were only meant for your past. Because once you lock into your purpose once, the vision becomes internal law. You don't apologize for who you're becoming. You don't dim your fire just because someone else is afraid to light theirs. Let them misunderstand you. Let them mock you. Let them drift while you build. Because here's the secret. Discipline compounds. Every day you show up, every habit you master, every time you choose vision over comfort, you are stacking bricks. Invisible at first, but over time, the wall rises, the castle takes shape, and the world begins to see what you already knew was real. It's not magic. It's not mystery. It's alignment. When your thoughts are obsessed, when your purpose is clear, when your identity is forged in discipline, the world has to respond. It bends. It yields. It rearranges to match the strength of your conviction. And you will begin to feel something unfamiliar. Peace. Not the peace of laziness, not the comfort of quitting, but the unshakable peace of someone who knows they're walking in purpose, the stillness of a soul that finally stopped betraying itself, the power of a person whose actions and beliefs are one. And that's when gratitude takes root. Not gratitude as a feel-good tactic, not the hollow be-positive fluff the world sells. I'm talking about warrior gratitude, the kind that stares down adversity and says, "Thank you, you're making me better." The kind that appreciates the darkness for sharpening the light. The kind that honors the process, because you've become the process. You stop looking at obstacles as roadblocks. You start seeing them as invitations. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What is this building in me?" That is real power. The kind that can't be faked, the kind that can't be stolen, the kind that doesn't shake in storms because it was built in the storm, and the world will feel it. They'll sense something different in your eyes, a fire, a focus, a weight. Because when you become obsessed not with fame, not with money, but with becoming your truest, highest self, you walk differently. You speak differently. You attract differently. Opportunities come. People appear. Paths open. Because life does not give you what you beg for. It gives you what you become. It gives you what you become. So ask yourself, what are you becoming? Not what do you want? Not what do you hope? What are you becoming right now through your actions, your habits, your thoughts, your obsessions? Because whether you know it or not, you're always becoming something. The question is, are you the architect, or are you letting the world shape you? You see, the ones who change the world, they don't react to it. They impose their vision upon it. Walt Disney walked through an empty orange grove and saw a kingdom. Henry Ford stared at a nation riding horses and envisioned assembly lines. Oprah Winfrey, raised in poverty and abuse, spoke to herself at 9 years old like she already knew her name would become a legacy. They weren't just dreamers. They were builders. They didn't just visualize, they actualized. Because vision without movement is a fantasy. But vision with movement? That's destiny being written in real time. And this is where most people break right here. Right between the clarity and the manifestation. Right at the crossroads between vision and discipline. They expect the universe to fill in the gaps. But the truth is, it's you who must take the steps. It's you who must swing the hammer. It's you who must sculpt the statue from the stone. And the chisel? It's your focus. It's your hunger. It's your resilience. Because pain will come. Rejection will come. Delay will come. But none of these are death sentences unless you treat them like one. You are not here to be fragile. You are not here to break at the first sign of pressure. You are here to bend life to your will. And yes, it will fight back. It will test the very core of your belief. But the stronger your obsession, the stronger your bounce back. Because when you know who you're becoming, nothing can derail you. Not fully, not permanently. You will adapt. You will learn. You will rise again and again until your former limitations start to fear you. That is emotional resilience. Not a shield from pain, but a sword you carry through it. You don't run from the storm. You become the storm. You don't hope life gets easier. You become stronger. You become wiser. You become more dangerous to your old excuses. And every failure you experience becomes fuel. Every no becomes a lesson. Every setback becomes a setup. Every scar becomes a story of what you survived on your way to becoming who you were always meant to be. Because greatness is not about being unbreakable. It's about being unshakable even in the face of breaking. And that brings us here to the final shift. The identity transformation. Because the old you can't go where the new you is going. The indecisive version, the distracted version, the approval-seeking, small-dreaming, second-guessing version of you, they must die here. Not tomorrow, not eventually. Now. Because when the identity shifts, the results shift. When you believe differently, you behave differently. And when you behave differently, you start to attract a life that matches the new you, not the version you were forced to become, but the version you were born to become. The world is not waiting for more noise. It's waiting for you to wake up, to step into your obsession, like it's your divine responsibility, to live with such conviction that your actions declare, I will not leave this earth full of potential. I will leave it empty, poured out, fulfilled, become. And when that level of purpose enters your soul, your footsteps will sound different. Your energy will move the room. You won't need validation. You'll radiate confirmation. Because once you become what you obsess over, you no longer chase success. You embody it. And the world can't help but notice. You embody it. And when that happens, the universe moves. Not because it owes you. Not because it favors you. But because you aligned yourself so precisely with your calling that life had no choice but to echo back your vibration. You don't become successful by chasing things. You become successful by becoming the person who attracts those things naturally, inevitably. And that's the final truth. You don't get what you want. You get who you are. If you're inconsistent, you attract chaos. If you're indecisive, you attract confusion. But when you're obsessed with vision, with mastery, with truth, you attract clarity, power, and purpose. You want wealth? Then become the kind of person who creates value without needing applause. The kind of person who studies when others scroll. The kind who plans while others drift. The kind who builds when no one is watching. You want love? Then become the kind of person who loves themselves enough to walk away from anything that insults their worth. You want peace? Then become someone whose inner world is stronger than the chaos outside them. You want freedom? Then become the one who takes full ownership of their Lefino excuses. No blaming, no waiting for permission. Because the truth is, you are the sculptor, the clay, and the fire. You are the dream, the dreamer, and the manifestation. You are not here to fit in. You are not here to follow the script. You are not here to live a life of quiet regret, of watered-down ambition, of half-finished dreams and broken promises to yourself. You are here to build something timeless, to become someone legendary. And it begins not tomorrow, not when it's convenient, not when the fear goes away. It begins now, with every breath, with every choice, with every single moment you decide to raise your standards. You don't need more time. You need more focus. You don't need more inspiration. You need more obsession. You don't need to wait until you're ready. You need to act like you already are. Because readiness is not a feeling, it's a decision. So rise, move, choose, become. Let this be the day the world lost the old you and met the version it's been waiting for. The version who doesn't hesitate, who doesn't flinch, who doesn't fold under pressure. The version who walks like every step is prophecy, who speaks like every word carries the weight of destiny, who lives like they are already the one. You become what you obsess over. So, obsess over your greatness. Obsess over your growth. Obsess over the version of you that the world cannot ignore, cannot replace, cannot deny. and then live as if it's already done. Because once you believe it, the world will too. Now go. Become.